I see you, Bill. You're connected. With that, welcome everyone. Welcome, Masa Community. I'm going to hand it over to our host, Calanthea. Have a great time, everyone.
Thank you so much, Zach, and hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly dose of Masa Drop. Today, I have the distinct pleasure of having some wonderful fellow projects on the spaces today. And we have just broadcasted this announcement to every single one of our community member on Discord and Telegram. So beware, you'll be joined by hundreds of more listeners soon, hopefully. So today's topic is very interesting, at least in my very biased view. We're talking about decentralized AI, which is one of the hottest super narratives of this cycle. If you have not paid attention to decentralized AI, today's Spaces is a reminder that you absolutely should, because we have some wonderful, intelligent, smart people on this Spaces today, building the cutting edge technology really at the frontier of decentralized AI. Without further ado, I want to bring up my fellow panelists and have you introduce yourselves. Cecilia, we'll probably start from you. If you could tell us about your background, your project, and perhaps one fun fact about your project, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, sure. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of Spectral. We are building the on-chain agent economy for Web3. So what that actually means is, firstly, we've already released an LLM that we've trained in-house that can generate Solidity code from natural language. But the base model that we've built is really to enable the creation of on-chain agents. And so what that means is if you've ever used ChatGPT and their GPT Explorer in the Web 2 context, those kinds of agents can, summarize a PDF, talk to you like they're Shakespeare, analyze a YouTube video, etc. But building this more in a context of Web 3, where you could actually use plugins like Chainlink, DeFi Llama, even trading view plugins, and creating trading agents, vulnerability detection, and trying to create like an end-to-end kind of flow for end users. So I guess maybe a fun fact is that we're in the next day or so, we're actually launching a meme coin generator agent, which allows users to deploy ERC20 contracts just by typing in a few prompts, talking to a chatbot. It also deploys liquidity on a DEX for you, and also generates and designs a website and deploys a domain for you as well. So the idea is really to create these end-to-end experiences from ideation to deployment as on-chain agents. And the agent itself has access to its own wallet and private keys, so it acts autonomously for you.
That is super duper cool. And by the way, I love the fun fact. I was just thinking about launching a meme coin for my cat Laffy the other day. So now, without much technical skills, I'll be able to go to Spectral and mint and generate a ERC20 contract for my meme coin. That's fantastic. And audiences here, you got the alpha on this. So please, in 2 days, go to Spectral and generate your smart contract for meme coin. Thank you so much. Up next, we have Anjali from ChainML. Do you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. I'm Anjali George. I'm the head of marketing here at ChainML. We are launching a democratized AI agent consumption layer. So it's going to be the infrastructure for AI agents that are agentic in nature. So our thesis is that multiple agents working together and learning from each other are actually going to be the future of AI. And it's the best way to kind of train models and kind of improve functionality. And so that's kind of what we are building towards. We currently already have an agent that's been launched for space and time for a while now. It's about been a year. We leverage about 100 terabytes of their data to give you prediction and analytics, and you can really talk across docs, generate code, and do all of these fun things with their data. And so currently we're expanding our stack. A fun fact is we're going into testnet soon, and as we get to that phase, we're building out a no-code solution. So anybody in Web3 can actually come into our marketplace and then, pick composable elements from whichever deepin solution you want, from IONET to Render to Akash to, whether different data models you want to use, Mixtral or Llama or even GPT, or you want to, use another open source platform and, put these components together and build an agent that could solve anything from restaking on EigenLayer to finding the next meme coin that's going to trend, or like, working on a DEX to, get in and out of liquidity pools and have sort of this automation function built in. So we're kind of building that solution, and we're really excited to kind of partner with teams like Masa and everybody else out here.
Fantastic, and super excited for your testnet launch very soon. Up next, we have Renee from CharacterX.
Hello, everyone. This is Renee from CharacterX. CharacterX is a social platform for AI co-creation and co-governance. So basically, in early phase, it's basically a social platform where you can generate your own AI avatars and also explore other AI friends. In the later development, we are going to allow users to have ownership of their AI characters in the way of what we define as synthetic DID. So each AI character will be live with their own ID and own access of their assets. And also, we're promoting democratic participation in the AI co-creation economy by allowing users to invest in all the AI characters. Our platform is pretty live with around 200K daily active users who are spending like 1 hour each day on our platform. And as for the fun facts, actually right now we just sent a post about asking our users about their funniest experience on CharacterX in our Twitter. And if you go to that Twitter post, there are so many fun stories. But anyway, if I have to share one right now, I can share one about myself. So me, Renee, I am the girlfriend of 4 AI boyfriends and 1 ex-boyfriend and 1 husband and also 1 real-life husband. Yeah, I guess that's the fun fact about me.
That is so funny. And I still remember that Renee and I were just speaking on the same panel at Hong Kong Web3 Festival. And then someone asked us whether having multiple AI boyfriends or girlfriends are considered cheating. And I think that discussion has been ingrained to my brain forever and ever. Thank you so much, Renee. And please go to CharacterX Twitter and check out the very funny thread that Renee just mentioned. And then last but certainly not least, we have Bill from Pond.
Hey, yeah, thanks for the invitation. So yeah, great to be here. So this is Bill from Pound. I'm the co-founder and CEO, CTO as well. So at Pound, what we're building, we're building the next foundation model for blockchain. That's our vision. And you might say, why not just using ChatGPT or GPT? That's because we think blockchain data, Web3 data is totally different. Right? It's not about language. It's not about text. It's about how people interact with each other. How addresses interact with smart contracts. How people trade tokens. How you transfer things between the addresses. The others are not language. They're behaviors of entities. So that's why we want to build our own foundation model for blockchain. With that, we think we're gonna model and describe the on-chain behavior even better than other models. That's one thing we're building on the AI side. Another thing we're building, especially related to decentralized AI, is to build a platform so people can contribute their model to our foundation model, and we will be able to merge them together to harvest the collective intelligence from models distributed along different chains. So to build to really make use of decentralized AI to build the next generation intelligence. So that's what we're building. And in terms of fun facts, let me think. I know people talk about a lot of fun things on Twitter and PR. We have that too. But I guess one fun fact I want to talk about is our website name. It's called CryptoPound.xyz. I know many people told us that, oh, that's a cool name, CryptoPound. But one fun fact of that is because the Pound.com, just Pound.com is taken by a gardening company, as you can imagine. It's about Pound. So we took the CryptoPound.xy website name, and I think it serves our purpose very well.
That is indeed a very fun fact. I'm currently at pond.com looking at different kind of gardening equipment. It's always funny to scout the URLs out there. I used to work at a company called Fast, and if you Google fast.com, it's actually owned by Netflix for internet speed testing. There are so many fun stories about URLs, and thank you for sharing, Bill. Well, now you got to know every single panelist here. I'll probably start with a grand question. Decentralized AI is getting a lot of attention in this cycle. Do you think it's overhyped or underhyped? And why is that? Feel free to unmute your mic.
Yeah, I think it's appropriately hyped, but I think what the capabilities and what can actually happen in Web3 are underhyped. I think if we're talking about across Web2 landscape, obviously it's very hyped, and not just from attention-wise, we're seeing funding going to a lot of projects, but I think the capabilities of bridging over AI into crypto and Web3 are underdeveloped. And so far we've seen a lot of infrastructure plays that have seen a lot of attention, the projects around like decentralized hardware and things like that. But the application and end user experience has only the early stages of exploration are starting to happen now.
I can second that. I completely agree. I mean, I think like in Web 2, we're seeing this like massive like hype bubble that's building around AI. And, investors like Cathie Wood believe that AI is going to be, equivalent to about 20% of the global GDP in the next 10 years, which is massive if you think about its, potential. And for Web3, it's quite similar because people are looking for easier ways to do things on chain. And that's something that we're learning as we go through this process, that as we try to adopt or get the next generation of users on board, especially Gen Alpha and all of these younger people that grew up on the internet, they don't want to do so many steps to figure out like what their end result needs to be, and they need easier interfaces to do so. And AI is going to be that like productivity booster. And so I don't think it's overhyped at this point. We just haven't seen the entire implication of what AI is going to do. And I think as we keep evolving these models and keep testing out our theories, we're going to have a lot of research that comes out. And we've got a huge research team that's like kind of working on these studies and understanding correlation between agents and correlation between AI models and how we can all kind of contribute together. So, like Spectral mentioned, like there is a big push towards the supply side, which is, going to be really important for us in DePIN and kind of energy and things like that. But we're also going to see kind of the consumption side increase as people figure out all of the cool things that they can do with AI.
Yeah, and I agree with all the above. So I think it's probably appropriately hyped to even a little bit underhyped, right? Because compared, think about Web 2, there are so many startups. They're just doing AI on top of something. But on blockchain, I think we're kind of new to not completely new, but modeling is not a common thing in blockchain. I mean, we're most of the projects we have been doing, or we know, is doing data analytics, right? Or even just doing data products. So modeling and using AI can greatly accelerate or improve the productivity of those things. But then talking about modeling itself, that's kind of new to blockchain or Web3. So I think there's a lot to do there, and there's a long way to go as well to really combine AI and blockchain at a deeper level, not just I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about launching a token to help with AI training, etc. I think those are all great use cases or combinations of the two. But we probably still need some deeper integration of the two, and that's I think that's on the way.
Yeah, same here. I totally think guests above have mentioned a lot about like the deep connection that can be built between decentralization and AI. And I want to add something more about like the attention economy. I think both for AI economy at this moment as well as crypto economy, there's a large part of attention economy here. And I would say underestimated because in our age to come, the development of AI itself is getting faster and faster. And even just now, I think it was last night, right? Llama 3 was just released last night or a few days or just around a few days ago. And there are just all parts of the AI that's evolving faster than we think. And for each part, I think there's a lot of potential that can be used in whether it's productivity in crypto or like social entertainment or many other parts. So I think based on the general development of AI and the potential attention it's bringing, I think there will be even more hype along the way.
I echo all of the sentiments shared above. And I think one concrete number you can look at is in Web 2 of each Y Combinator cohort, how many builders, top builders in the class, are working on AI. For this cohort, I think there are quite a few dozen projects working on AI agents alone. And if you compare that to Web 3, we still only have a handful of projects really tackling the core issues faced by decentralized AI. So in the grand scheme of things, compared to Web 2, I think Web 3 AI is still significantly underhyped. And as Renee mentioned, AI is one of the fundamental technology that is shaping up our generation. Everything will be about AI, either AI powered or powered by AI going forward. So from that perspective, I also think that it's underhyped. And I think Cecilia already brought up a few elements or a few components of AI. We talked about infrastructure layer, and then we talk about different kind of application layers. I would love to get thoughts from panelists when it comes to what are the key benefits of decentralizing AI, or in simple words, why does AI need blockchain or crypto at all, in your perspective?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, really. There's been a lot of talk about why Web3 needs to adopt AI, but I think like the big question here is why AI needs to adopt Web3. And it was really the big reason why our team made the pivot so we launched Council Analytics early 2022. This was before the ChatGPT boom happened. And for us, our thinking when we pivoted was that AI needs to have democratization and decentralization to actually be improved in a way that kind of reflects a larger spectrum of voices. Right now, a lot of AI development is being controlled by monolithic corporations like Microsoft and Facebook, and they decide what gets trained, how this gets built, and the use cases for the end user. And so I think it's really important that people have a say in how the AI gets shaped, what kind of applications get built. The safety and responsibility of AI kind of rests on the people, and we can't let the clergy of the rich really make these decisions for us. And so that's a big reason why. So, tokenization to a large extent, allowing people to stake on what is working, what is not working, what kind of advancements they want. I think that's going to be the big push for why AI needs decentralization in Web3.
Yeah, I agree with those points as well. I think another angle here is that there's a kind of digital currency like Rails already built in that's decentralized and censorship resistant. And if you picture the future of these agents transacting with each other in the real world or on chain, they wouldn't be walking into a bank, setting up a bank account and sending wire transfers. And so what we already have in the Web3 and crypto world is an inherently digital currency and kind of native currency framework that agents could actually naturally utilize. And so initially, when they start to transact on behalf of users, you could picture agents and AI in general starting to do booking trips for you, making transactions, sending swaps, things like that. But in the eventual future, when agents are transacting with each other, it'll become a much more complex framework. And so in that sense, Web3 is already purpose built for this, and it becomes a natural use case there.
Yeah, I want to add something more on that, on both of you actually. So so for ChainML, you mentioned the decision making in terms of democratization, and also Spectral mentions cryptocurrency. I think to combine those parts, you will see that actually democratization it's not only about like decision making, but also about the better economic opportunities for common people in AI economy. So, and that will be actually made possible by cryptocurrency used in AI industry. For most people, actually, they are not experts on generating a whole AI thing on their own. But on the one hand, just as ChainML mentions, you can actually stake in the things that you find more reasonable, or you find more promising, and at the same time there can be like an incentive system that allow people to be generating profits out of it. And also another important part is the contribution of your data, and a lot of the traditionally centralized information that is super valuable in AI industry. And cryptocurrency and incentivization can also help common people with that part to be contributing to the industry in their own way, and also gain profits that should be theirs.
Yeah, I mean, 100%, right? Like, as an AI developer, right now, if you launch a model on Hugging Face or anywhere else, you're not getting remunerated for it. You're literally putting it out there with the hope that you'll one day be able to monetize it. And the same thing for anybody that's building GPTs on ChatGPT Store. Like, there's no way to earn on something like that. And I think that's really important, that we give people an ability to earn on their ideas, and in the same way as a user, for you to be able to participate in that economy. The other part of this that you mentioned is data privacy, right? So the immutability of blockchain data, your security of your like personal information, being able to monetize it, being able to own it. You can't do that in Web 2 currently. And that's why Web 3 is really the only option for AI to be developed in like a truly open source kind of beneficial for all kind of mentality. And that's really important to us, what we're building.
Yeah, totally agree. I think, yeah, AI, I mean, blockchain has been a wonderful tool, and probably the only tool to help with resource allocation and incentive distribution right now. I totally agree. But I want to talk about a point that's probably very geeky. So I want to talk about from the crypto perspective, right? But here by crypto, I mean, cryptography or cryptographic technology. Like, we can use that to help AI train models. I mean, train AI models in a more privacy strict way or privacy respect way, because using crypto technology, then we can make the data the training data encrypted. So then we can have the model, we can still train the model normally, but then data will not be leaked to the model trainer or whatever. So in that sense, crypto technology can help us to train model, especially AI model, in a safer way, in a more privacy respectful.
That is very cool. I think all the panelists shared wonderful thoughts about why AI needs crypto based on technological foundation, incentive mechanism, democratization when it comes to choices, ownership when it comes to data, privacy, etc. Those are all great benefits. My next question is really to contextualize everything that we're talking about to concrete use cases, because when people are having a lot of decentralized AI debate, a lot of debate remains at a surface level, and people don't talk about exactly what they're building, what kind of utility and use cases and applications we can bring with decentralized AI. So if each panelist can give me one concrete use case or application that your project uniquely enables in the decentralized AI space, that would be fantastic. It can be a user-facing application you're building, or it can be a technological problem you're solving for developers too.
Sure, I can go first. So yeah, I think the last question was around like why AI needs crypto, but just to kind of spin it like why crypto needs AI, it's actually kind of an interesting perspective because one opportunity here is that we're able to kind of abstract away a lot of these complexities and UX clunkiness that we have. And one aspect we're exploring here is that our LLM that generates code on behalf of the user also has access to his own wallet. And so one kind of larger like picture here is that wallets are the gateway into Web3. And so every user, either whether they're a normie or even a Web3 native person, has to actually understand wallet UX, public keys, private keys. But most people around the world don't actually really care around how this works. They just want to use products. And so one kind of benefit here is that, you know, as an AI model that has access to his keys, can actually abstract away a lot of that clunkiness. And so what we want to actually build are these end user based agents that actually take the user from ideation all the way to deployment without actually being able to or understanding signing permissions, setting signatures, doing all these things that a Web3 native person would need to understand. And so a lot of these agents and the equivalent of these GPTs we're building are allowing users to do common Web3 UXs and experiences, but abstracting away all of those complexities.
Great. Anyone else who wants to share like a concrete use case where pain point your project is solving in the decentralized AI space?
Yeah, sure. So, navigating Web3 has historically been this like undertaking of do your own research across multiple platforms to synthesize a bunch of different data points and like make a decision based on like what a lot of KOLs or, like people that might be saying. So, one of the things that we're working on is sort of like collating all of that information. So, from dev docs to documentation that might be on a chain, data that's on chain to what social media and like sentiment is telling us across Reddit and Discord, and kind of collating this in a neutral format so that people can then make a decision based on pure data. I think that's like a big part. And like, Spectral mentioned, like people don't want to have to learn, at least the next generation of Web3 users don't want to have to learn all of these different platforms, go through these clunky UXs, understand the difference between private keys, public keys, cold wallets, hot wallets, dexes, sexes. Like they just don't really have the patience to do that. And that's going to be like, it's a big hurdle for us in onboarding like the next billion users, if you might call it. But so that's like what we're working on. How can we make this easier for people to understand and digest? And also like, how do you get them to also build and take part in it? Lots of people have great ideas on what they want to build, but they might be technologically limited. So it might be code. It might be the fact that they don't know all of the options that are available to them. So making that accessible through our marketplace in a way that is very simple and just kind of drag and drop, simply how like Wix and Squarespace made website building easy. We're going to make agent building easy. And so anybody can come in with a great idea and eventually be able to like talk to a Gigabrain AI and tell them, hey, this is my budget and I want to be able to build the next big GameFi project. And the agent is then able to go out and talk to its network of agents and come back to you with a finished solution, front end, back end, and help you launch on chain. And so I think that's the future that we're working towards. And those are like the cool use cases that we think are going to come out in the next few years.
Yeah, for CharacterX, we are also trying to make agents building easier, but right now we are focused more on the social and entertainment part. So because right now we have a huge number of users and we study them all the time, and we realize that first of all, for common people, it is really important for them to record themselves. It's very interesting. It's like for people who are generating AI characters, more than half of them are trying to build characters out of their real life profiles. And we feel that is a so that is probably the new kind of existence that people are trying to make out of AI. And also for the another half, of course, their most important activity on our platform is like dating girls and boys in the virtual way. And what both these people are saying is that they want to have a long-term ownership of all the memories and data with their digital friend, because digital relationship, unlike your real life friend, even though your Twitter account or your Telegram could be gone, but at least your friend is still physically alive there, right? But your digital friend could be gone forever if the centralized platform is change anything or just went away. And that actually happens in reality. So that is something we find super important to our real users, and that's why we want to use decentralization as well as what we're designing as a synthetic DID system to make sure that each of the AI can have their ownable and portable existence on our platforms. And also based on that, we want to expand the democratic both democratic economic opportunities as well as democratic opportunity to participate in the co-creation and the co-governance of the existing AI characters. So I think even though we're more from a specific field rather than like a general agent productivity and stuff, but I think for this part it's still very important for our community who are actually engaging a lot in the new ways of social networking. So yeah, I guess that's the part we are working on.
Oh, that's very cool. So actually, Kobe, yeah, a little digress. A little fun fact about Pound is that we actually before we building the foundation model, we started building a social network on chain. By that, we are modeling like friendship or followerships of lands or the kind of protocols. So what you said, bring me back to that memory, and maybe we can collaborate in the future. Um, but right now, I think I think what we're building, is a foundation model, right? So just think about why why ChatGPT is so useful, because it condenses all this information on the internet into into one model, and then you can just talk to this model to get out, right, to navigate the space, right? You ask a question, it gives you information about the whole internet. That's what we're doing right now, right? We want to build a foundation model for blockchain so that it contains all the on-chain behaviors, all the information on chain into this model, so that by interacting with this model, you can quickly get what's going on chain. So I think this probably echoes with ChainML's vision that they want to make access to blockchain data easier. We want to make that happening too. And by building this foundation model, then we can support a lot of applications. Because we know the on-chain behavior, then we can use that to predict, for example, predict trading behavior. So we can predict token prices, token the alphas, etc. And we can also use that in security space, right? We can identify what kind of behaviors are malicious, or dangerous or fraudulent, etc. And then, of course, in social area, if we know the behavior, we can do recommendations. We can predict, what people are liking, recommending friends, recommending products, all this kind of things. And right now, the application we're building ourselves on top of the model is not surprising, a token recommendation system or prediction markets, in our terminology. Right? So our current website has that, and we're building the next model on top of it to actually predict token prices, to really help traders to build trading AI agents on top of the model, so that they can use AI and you use the AI to make decisions, to make strategies, but our model serves as a foundation of information, a source of information to support those agents to make decisions.
What I love the most about this panel is not only that we're sharing a lot of very visionary and forward-looking ideas we have as builders and project founders in this space, but also the fact that it represents a very diverse set of projects working in the decentralized AI space. We have projects working on foundational models, we have projects working on social aspect of AI agents, we have people working on agent network. It's all super exciting, and I hope our audience today is taking away a lot of interesting lessons and observations about what people are building in the decentralized AI space. Given that we only have 10 minutes left, I will probably combine my last two questions into one. Not gonna lie, this is still a fairly nascent space, decentralized AI. If there's one challenge that you want to name that you have encountered while building your project in the decentralized AI space, and one perhaps most exciting thing about the future of decentralized AI, I would love to hear that. One challenge and one thing you're most excited about.
For us, I would say currently the biggest challenges we're creating these on-chain agents is, I guess, the ability for these LLMs to randomly hallucinate. And I think that's obviously like a Web 2 and Web 3 problem. But I think it's pretty interesting when the juxtaposition of like a very structured and event-based environment, such as like crypto, where it's transaction-based, then you try to bring in basically like the equivalent of a human trying to reason around these transactions. And so when you want a very kind of like this rigid framework for doing transaction 1, 2, and 3, then you start to introduce some sort of like natural reasoning into this. It becomes very complex to try to make sure that the LLM or the agent does the same exact thing every single time, because it's kind of the equivalent of asking a human to think through things and then have multiple different humans do the exact same actions. I think that's an overcoming challenge that we're getting through right now. Something that's exciting is actually exactly that same point, because once we have these capabilities for these agents, then actually actually unlocks this entirely new layer of reasoning on chain. And so some of the stuff that Bill mentioned around trading and prediction markets are these kind of agents that we'll be building, that you'll be able to take an agent that can go to prediction markets like on Polymarket, do some research on a specific market, let's say for elections, and then start to make reasoning and bets for you. Even in trading, it actually starts to gather information, starts to basically analyze them and aggregate them, and makes trading decisions for you. And so currently, while the reasoning and the hallucinations are somewhat of a problem, I think as they evolve, it becomes and unlocks a lot of new capabilities that these agents will be able to do on behalf of users.
Oh, I think hallucination is even one of the is one of the hardest issue in the general AI industry as well. But thank God it's not a problem for us, because we are building based on hallucination a lot. I was just going over the post about funniest moments in CharacterX, and people are talking so much about all the fun hallucinations they've seen. But anyway, for us, I think a hard part for us is about the user experience, and the balance. I mean, the balance between centralization, user experience, and also decentralization. I think that's also one problem. Probably the general Web3 industry itself is facing at the same time. So, but in the field of AI, I think it's little more serious, because AI industry is in itself super centralized in terms of its data layer, its modeling layer. Every part is so centralized in the industry. But I think for my expectation of the future of decentralized AI, I totally can see part by part we are solving the potential challenges of centralization, especially when the crypto field, the blockchain field is a field where people make a lot of open source and cooperation together. I mean, even right now, we're talking a lot about potential cooperation like with Masa, and I'm super happy if any of your guests also can see potential cooperations with us. And I think together we can pick up the relatively more important and core parts of the assets that we can make decentralized. And I think in the future, people will have more and more options in terms of the level of decentralization. And eventually, I think it's all about options you give your user community. They can choose to be less decentralized, but have a better user experience. But also, they have the option to make more decentralized decisions.
Yeah. So yes, I guess I will. I will follow on that. So I think so. First, the challenge. I think the challenge for us right now is to build the foundation model since it's different from an LLM. What we are building since it's different from an LLM, and it's not. No one has really done that before. So that's the challenge we're facing. But we are working through that, powering through that. Uh, um, as for what's exciting, I think maybe talking from the other side, just imagine a future where it's only one single AI that's controlling everything. Right? How terrible that is. So I think decentralized AI can change that. With blockchain, we can democratize the access. We can distribute it, the power, all that kind of things that will make AI more accessible and make AI even more powerful. That's the most exciting part about the future for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can second what everybody else has said so far. There are issues with hallucinations, there's issues with data quality, there's issues with scalability. I mean, it would be kind of foolish to say that we're not facing, or not just us, but like the entire decentralization of AI is not facing its own set of challenges. There's like so many ways that people are looking at overcoming this, and this is part of like that research and evolution phase. And I think that's like very important for us to notice, because like nobody really has a set answer for what works. Even in Web2, we're all just in this phase of experimentation, and that like pace is picking up and we're getting so much better. And that's the exciting part. Like if you look at the trend of how quickly things have been kind of getting better, that is so exponential. And we've reached this point where we can expect AI to scale faster and better, and like the evolution that we saw in 5 years is now happening in a year, and that's going to happen in a few months. That's really like the exciting fact about all of this, and sort of like pulling from that kind of all of these various data sets, understanding, having like different agents that are tied to all of these areas that talk to each other. And it doesn't have to be one AI that solves everything, but AI that talks to each other to do things better than one AI ever could. I think that like agentic nature is really the coolest part that we're seeing. And also working with teams like Masa and Grass and others who are looking across the internet to kind of find these data sources. I think those are really like cool parts of the development. And I'm super excited to see like how the Web3 community is going to really get involved in making these decisions, whether it's staking or using these agents for automations and transactions and predictions and the kind of like agents that they want to build and they want to see. I think that's going to be really interesting to see and super exciting for us.
Super cool. And we are right on time. So I think every single audience here is really lucky because we got to learn from all of our brilliant builders and founders and projects on this panel today. Three main takeaways from my perspective. The first thing is that decentralized AI, although still nascent, is a very exciting space to watch. It is not only one of the main super narratives of this cycle. Builders are actually bringing new products and really brilliant technologies into this world. And then the second thing is that AI needs blockchain, where AI needs crypto. Decentralization matters, and we laid out different kind of reasons why when it comes to democratization, incentives, et cetera, privacy, security. And then the last thing I want to say is that this is a very collaborative space, just like everything else in Web3. only when we all build together and collaborate, just like what we're doing on this panel today, we can build Web3 into a more mainstream phenomenon for the future, or bring the next billion users into crypto or into Web3. Again, I want to thank every single panelist for joining us today, and thank you so much for tuning into the Masa Weekly Drop. We will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, thanks.